if the stories you heard every day weren't just biased, but filtered, shaped, and selected by a small group of powerful corporations? What if your view of the world, your sense of what matters, was being quietly curated, not for truth, but for profit? This isn't a theory. It's the media landscape we live in today. And it's time we started asking, who really controls the media? Part 1. The Great Consolidation. In 1983, over 50 independent companies owned the majority of America's media outlets. Newspapers, television, radio. By 1990, that number was down to 23. By 2000, just 6. And today, it's still those same 6 giants: Comcast, Disney, News Corp, Warner Bros., Discovery, Paramount Global, and Bertelsmann. These conglomerates control the vast majority of what Americans read, watch, and hear across film studios, cable networks, news channels, publishing houses, and digital streaming platforms. This didn't happen by accident. It was the result of aggressive mergers, like Disney absorbing ABC and 20th Century Fox, Comcast taking over NBC Universal, Viacom merging with CBS and rebranding as Paramount. And it was made possible by the Telecommunications Act of 1996, a law passed with bipartisan support that stripped away ownership limits and opened the floodgates to consolidation. Part 2. What this means. The result? We lost something essential. Over 2,100 local newspapers have shut down in the last 20 years. Independent radio has been replaced by cookie-cutter playlists, and local TV stations are often owned by national chains like Sinclair Broadcasting, who have been caught forcing anchors to read corporate-scripted editorials word for word. What's left is a media landscape that looks diverse, but speaks with a single voice. Coverage across networks often feels identical. The same soundbites, the same headlines, the same agenda. So what's not being covered? Who gets ignored, and why? Part 3. Mechanisms of control. Media control isn't always about overt censorship. It's often quieter, more sophisticated. It starts at the top, corporate ownership. Newsroom editors report up the chain. The chain leads to boardrooms. And boardrooms don't like controversy unless it sells. Then there's advertising. Most major media is funded not by you, the viewer, but by corporations selling you products. If a story threatens an advertiser, it doesn't get told. Or it gets softened, sanitized, buried on page 12. Access is another form of control. Journalists who want to stay close to power, to get the next White House interview or corporate scoop, learn quickly what not to ask. And finally, there's the revolving door. TV pundits who used to be Pentagon officials, cable news execs who leave to work for presidential campaigns, FCC regulators who later joined telecom giants. It's not a conspiracy, it's a system. One designed to protect itself. Part 4. Suppressed narratives. It's not just about what they say, it's about what they don't. Where was the coverage of anti-war protests during the Iraq invasion? Where were the deep investigations into the 2008 financial crash before it happened? Who gave voice to the working poor during decades of wage stagnation? To climate scientists warning about fossil fuel propaganda? To activists protesting police brutality long before body cams? These stories existed, but they were buried. Why? Because they challenge power. Because they expose systems that benefit the people who own the microphones. Instead, we get distractions, endless election horse races, both sides framing on issues of justice and fact, and feel-good consumer stories to keep us sedated. This isn't journalism, it's programming, and it trains us to stop asking questions. Part 5. The Rising Alternative. But the story doesn't end there. While the media giants consolidate, something else is happening. a quiet revolution. Independent journalists, grassroots publications, creators with nothing but a mic, a camera, and a mission. They're uncovering corruption, challenging narratives, giving voice to people the mainstream ignores. They're not always polished, they don't have billion-dollar budgets, but they're honest, and they're growing. Platforms like Hot LZ are part of that change. We're not owned. We're not beholden. We exist to serve the people, not advertisers, not lobbyists, and not political donors. We dig deeper. We call things by their name, and we invite you to do the same. Support independent media. Read it, share it, fund it. And if you believe in reclaiming the truth, come to hotlz.com because democracy dies in silence, and we're here to make some noise. Thanks for watching Hot LZ. If you value open discussion and real American voices, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And join the conversation at hotlz.com.